This is Mac OS Ken.
Apple responds to the SCOTUS ruling. The company will apparently not fight a union vote. And good news, bad news for students from Apple. It is Monday, the 27th of June, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/macOSCan. This show is also sponsored by Kolide, Endpoint Security Powered by People. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If you have a business and that business employs people, any one of those people could be the weak link in your organization's security. Don't wait for it to break. Strengthen your employee security know-how with Kolide. Kolide sends your people important, timely, and relevant security recommendations for their Linux, Mac, and Windows devices right inside Slack. That is your people keeping your environment secure rather than you locking down hardware until they almost can't use it. Now, while that is great, my favorite part is how Kolide talks to your users. It's not just telling them what to do, it's telling them why what they're doing is important, making all of the links in your security chain stronger. Find out more and activate Kolide's 14-day free trial. Visit kolide.com/macOSCan to sign up today. That's KOLIDE, kolide.com/macOSCan. Enter your email when prompted to receive your free Kolide gift bundle after trial activation at KOLIDE, kolide.com/macOSCan. As had been expected, the Supreme Court of the United States overturned Roe v. Wade on Friday. As the Los Angeles Times explained, the court's conservative majority said the Constitution does not protect the right to abortion, instead leaving the decision in the hands of state lawmakers. A number of tech companies issued statements on the issue, including Apple. The Cupertino Company's statement was made public in a Twitter post from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. He quoted Apple as saying, "We support our employees' rights to make their own decisions regarding their reproductive health. For more than a decade, Apple's comprehensive benefits have allowed our employees to travel out of state for medical care if it is unavailable in their home state." With abortion becoming illegal in literally a single day in many states, there's renewed focus by some on cycle tracking on Apple devices, including Apple's Health app. While there seems to be little concern about Apple mishandling such information, a piece from Apple Insider points out that various apps and devices are able to access information in the Health app. The site suggests checking your settings to see what apps do have access to such info. It's honestly a good idea for anybody since, as the piece points out, unused apps sitting on the iPhone can still update internal databases and sync with the cloud using background processes. In other words, just because you're not accessing an app or service anymore doesn't mean that app or service isn't accessing your sensitive information. There is a lot of good information in this article. It is definitely worth checking out. I'll have a link to the Apple Insider article, How to Ensure Apple Health Cycle Tracking Data Stays Private, in this story on macOSCan.com. Hours ahead of last week's abortion ruling by the Supreme Court, 4 lawmakers called on the U.S. Federal Trade Commission to investigate Apple and Google over mobile tracking. The Wall Street Journal had a letter from Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat of Massachusetts, Senator Cory Booker, Democrat of New Jersey, and Representative Sarah Jacobs, Democrat of California, asking the FTC to investigate Apple and Google for engaging in unfair and deceptive practices by enabling the collection and sale of hundreds of millions of mobile phone users' personal data. These two companies knowingly facilitated these harmful practices by building advertising-specific tracking IDs into their mobile operating systems, the letter said. While that letter does acknowledge the ability for consumers to opt out of such data collection today, the lawmakers argue that that's a relatively recent change for iOS and Android. Quoting the letter again, by failing to warn customers about the predictable harms that would result by using their phones with the default settings that those companies chose, Apple and Google enabled governments and private actors to exploit advertising tracking systems for their own surveillance and exposed hundreds of millions of Americans to serious privacy harms. As for what this means in the wake of last week's SCOTUS ruling, the lawmakers argued that individuals seeking abortions and other reproductive health care will become particularly vulnerable to privacy harms, including through the collection and sharing of their location data. Data brokers are already selling, licensing, and sharing the location information of people that visit abortion providers to anyone with a credit card. Prosecutors in states where abortion becomes illegal will soon be able to obtain warrants for location information about anyone who has visited an abortion provider. Private actors will also be incentivized by state bounty laws to hunt down women who have obtained or are seeking an abortion by accessing location information through shady data brokers. As long as they've got the FTC's attention, maybe the lawmakers could call for an investigation of what they themselves call shady data brokers. Also kind of bummed that the same group of lawmakers didn't call on the FTC to investigate Facebook, Snap, and other services and developers for actively trying to work around the protections that Apple added with app tracking transparency. Maybe that's coming in a follow-up letter. While Apple would rather retail workers at its Towson, Maryland store had not joined a union, doesn't sound like Apple's going to try to beat the decision. iMore ran a piece Friday highlighting a Reuters report that had a person familiar with the company's plans saying that Apple would not challenge the results of the union vote. Instead, the piece says the Cupertino company intends to participate in the bargaining process in good faith. One imagines that that is the case for a couple of reasons. First, it would look really bad for Apple to gang up on 65 of its own employees. Perhaps the bigger reason this seems likely, though, we haven't heard anything to the contrary. Apple had until last Friday, the 24th of June, to challenge this vote. Hard to imagine word would not have gotten out if they had done so. That said, you won't hear yay or nay from the Cupertino company. When reached for a response, says iMore, Apple declined to comment on the news. More news in a moment, but first a word from Trade Coffee. You know what I love about Trade Coffee? Surprise, it's the coffee. Here's how it works. You answer questions about your coffee preferences. Light or dark roasts, French press or drip. Do you take cream and sugar? Yeah, all that stuff that probably seems normal for us, Trade uses to find so many great coffees for you. I am currently enjoying the heck out of a bag of Ember by Alma. Full-bodied and deliciously roasty, this complex cup features deep notes of dark chocolate and just the teeniest hint of dried fruit. Trade delivers a bag of freshly roasted coffee, as whole bean or ground for however you brew it at home, and they guarantee that you will love your first order or they'll replace it for free. Yes, I have liked some bags more than others, but I will tell you, every bag they've sent me has been a hit. See what they can find for you. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order, plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/macOSKen. That is more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/macOSKen and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/macOSKen for $30 off. Pluses and minuses for students from Apple. On the plus side, Apple's annual back-to-school promotion is back. No AirPods in the US and Canada this time, unless AirPods are what you want. Except for college and university students, a piece from Mac Rumors says this year's promotion offers a free Apple gift card with the purchase of an eligible Mac or iPad, rather than free AirPods like last year. Apple is also offering students 20% off Apple Care Plus plans during the promotion. The piece says qualified buyers get a $150 gift card when they buy a new MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, or iMac. Students picking up an iPad Air or iPad Pro get a gift card worth $100. In the US and Canada, the back-to-school promotion runs through Monday, the 26th of September, when we will almost be finished singing Badia. Interestingly, AirPods are still the big get for some back-to-schoolers. In an update to its report, Mac Rumors says Apple's back-to-school promotion has also gone live in some Asian countries such as India, Singapore, and Thailand, with Apple offering free second-generation AirPods with the purchase of an eligible Mac or iPad. As for the minus from Apple, it's actually plus $1. A report from TechCrunch says the Cupertino company has raised the price of Apple Music's student plan. That moves from $4.99 in the US and Canada and £4.99 in the UK to $5.99 in the first two countries and £5.99 in the United Kingdom. Hard to imagine a worse time, but okay. TechCrunch reached out to Apple on the price change and got no response. While the new prices are now visible on Apple's website, the piece says Apple has yet to publicly announce the pricing changes. The Lady in the Lake has found a replacement. Apple has described the show in the past, saying the limited series, Lady in the Lake, takes place in 1960s Baltimore, where an unsolved murder pushes housewife and mother Maddie Schwartz, played by Natalie Portman, to reinvent her life as an investigative journalist and sets her on a collision course with Cleo Sherwood, a hardworking woman juggling motherhood, many jobs, and a passionate commitment to advancing Baltimore's Black progressive agenda. Lupita Nyong'o had been set to play Sherwood, though she was reported to have dropped out of the project back in May. Now, that role will be filled by Moses Ingram. Though her first IMDb credit only goes back to 2018, Ingram has a few big titles under her belt. Those include the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit, the Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Apple TV Plus film The Tragedy of Macbeth. And finally today, the latest of the rare, ultra-rare things was sold again last week, as it almost never always seems to be. The Mac Observer says the Byte shop, Apple One, that had been up for bid sold last Thursday for a total of $468,750. That's $375,000 to the former owner and $93,750, 25% above the sale price, to RR Auctions, the auction house handling the sale. News of the auction's end comes as a major disappointment to people who are thinking of buying the machine for me for no apparent reason. Reach for comment. I have expressed a willingness to take half the final sales price in cash, plus 25% for handling the transaction. Though I've seen nothing official, news of the next sale of these ultra-rare machines is expected to start before the end of this sentence. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by Kolide, Endpoint Security Powered by People. Learn more and try it for free at KOLIDE, Kolide.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.